said he comes from a billion miles away, from a distant planet land. Comes our hero, Ultraman.
Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your host of Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, and your agent of Ultra Action. Today we are going to be reviewing episodes 39 through 42 of Ultraman Mebius, and we are cooking with gas now. We've got guest stars galore, not just Ultra guest stars, but yeah, that's a couple of them. So, before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these 4 episodes. I think they're all really good. I didn't remember liking them as much as I did, but I changed my mind. They're good. So, let me know what you think about them. And if you're ready, get in the gun winger and let's roll. We start out with a shot of a suburban, I guess, Tokyo neighborhood. And you see that the guy's headquarters is right in the middle of town, or toward at least at the edge of town anyway. This never made any sense to me. I mean, back in the 60s, sure. But I think even though the Science Patrol headquarters was outside of wherever that was stationed. Of course, that was in 1983 now, wasn't it? So we start with a mom there waking up her family who are all sleeping in the same room. I think even her husband is in there. You tell me. She feeds them and she clothes them. She takes care of everything, and she's great. She is very personable here. I really enjoyed this. I remembered watching it the second and third time around. This is probably my 4th time to watch the entire series all the way through. It's that good. And then she's a member of Guys. She's this dumb kid who's running out in traffic. Apparently, Japanese kids don't look both ways before they cross the street. And she saves him, but unfortunately, she died. Or did she? An alien serpent appears and gives her a second chance and falls into her just like the Ultras do. So you think, well, maybe it's benign. The invincible mother. So they're all talking about Miss Hinode and how wonderful she is that she's back to work. Unfortunately, her cooking is not as good as it used to be. It's a little bland. There's a reason for that. She's not putting any salt in it or anything, apparently, although they've got salt right there at the table. So she goes back home. Everyone's happy, and they celebrate her. Ganbei, or Kanbei. Well, that might be Chinese. Unfortunately, the alien serpent is giving her they're calling down the task force. They're going to invade Earth. What a surprise. So it's a mundane episode plot, but she makes it. The family makes it. The workers are upset that her food used to be delicious, and then she doesn't remember anything because she's possessed, of course, but she's also dead. The alien serpent gave her, joined, and they're having a chat. I am you, and you are me, and we are all together. Cuckoo, cuckoo. And yes, Beatles fans just popped for that one, didn't you? She threatens him, but unfortunately the alien takes over and starts zapping things and zaps the cameras. And the crew, of course, runs down. And she's summoning more serpents, I guess. Now, I don't know if a serpent looks familiar to me, like it might be an Ultra 7 villain, but I don't know. They zap the teleportation device, so only these amount can show up. And Sayuri, the alien serpent says that. And they're going to sacrifice, and unfortunately, Sayuri is a powerful personality and takes over because she loves her family, and that's why she, of course, I really like this. And then she beats the stuffing out of almost all of them. I mean, kicking them and punching them, and so the guys they do start zapping them, and the remaining serpents have said, okay, we can't handle this, and embiggen themselves. So, of course, Uri shows up, or he sticks. I love that shot there, hence the reason it's there. But Somehow the alien serpent is invulnerable to the laser sword, but Miss Honaday says it dissolves the salt, so they're slugs. They're slugs. So they zap it, it crumbles, it collapses, everyone cheers, yatta! And she has got superpowers, still has alien powers, and she's doing laundry, and they're supposed to go and zooms by him. She saves a kid, this time by just hoisting up the car. Great shot. She tells us all, breaks the fourth wall to watch out for cars too, and then she ultra mothers right out of there. Very cute. And she is such a personality. They should have done more episodes with her. All right, our next episode, a falling star shows up, and it's a plant monster, which is unusual. We don't get a lot of plant monsters in many. There were two in the original Ultra series, 40 years ago from this, 60 years ago from now. It sends out seedlings, I guess, and they start asking people if they're lonely. Are they lonely? Lonely paradise. It's not my favorite of the four. It's probably number four of four. But it does speak to loneliness and the human condition, sort of. Mirai has a day off and has no idea what to do. And this poor girl is being taken advantage of by her dinkus friends. And they call Mirai a creep because he says, don't do that. But the vendor even knows. She just doesn't want to be lonely. She does apologize to Mirai. And then they get attacked by the plant monster itself. Mirai throws an ultra slash or an ultra knife or an ultra dart, I don't know what you call it, and it wounds him in the leg. And he gets zapped because the plant monster farts on him and paralyzes his nerves. The plant mystery man. So the young lady sees him, she helps him, bandage it up, and yet you think that, oh, maybe he'll turn against his plant master, but well. Soloturine Silver. And it's the Morium of Hatano. And then she hears her friends talking about her being a loser. And then, of course, the seedling comes back. And he's got his messy haircut, which was ever so popular back then in the 90s. And he says humans, so I just like this shot. They're being watched. You bet you are, because what's that small dot there? And they promise him paradise. And you should really beware of anyone who promises you paradise. And I don't know what they're doing, if they're eating psychic energy, eating brainwaves, or they're going to consume the people. We're kind of let them, but they're giving them a drug, apparently. They don't feel lonely because they're all interconnected. They are one. They have been assimilated. They are the Borg of plants, whatever plants that would be. Mirai shows up and gets captured. He turns back into the plant man, and he does, look, assimilated. Told you. And there it is. I mean, the problem with plants is they have a vulnerability. Unlike slugs, although salt would probably kill it pretty well too. And this is a new, we haven't seen this very much, this sort of transformation. The fight goes on. Guy shows up. And once you get the sword out, judo or sword chop, slash, Mebius beam, and now the people are not happy that they've been released. They want it. They're lonely, but fortunately, and I don't remember what her name is, and I'm sorry, but she comes to the conclusion all humans can be lonely. That's what parts makes her human. So they take the little girl back, and that is it. So now it is time for an intermission and station identification. You are watching Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters on KXNO, part of the Xenorama Broadcasting Network. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program. We begin our third episode with a boy who does not want to go to school and a teacher who comes to get him. Now, if you have watched Ultraman 80, you know what's going to happen. Very much so, from the first episode. Just be a little brave. And the Rakoka Middle School, one of these things shows up again, and 80 shows up. And I wish I'd had the theme song to play here right now, because it's a great theme song. 80 was a show that we all thought we would love so much because of the acrobatic and martial arts ability of the stuntman inside the 80 costume, the actor. And yet it did not, like much like Leo, was not my favorite. Although I like it a lot, it's just not. Teacher's memories. So right as 80's about to be defeated by whatever that critter is, a Mebius Blast shows up and they team up. So I assume that's an Ultra Spear. They double zap. Kaboom! I love this shot. And I kind of wish I'd have used it, but I didn't. So they start talking about minus energy for the first time in, I don't know, 41 episodes. Minus energy. It's think of Ghostbusters and the negative energy that Gozer the Gozerian was doing, and then later on in Ghostbusters 2. We'll get to it. And now these former kids from the series Ultraman 80, they're gonna tear down the school, and now they're alumni and they recognize each other. And there they are. That's the class there. I don't think the young lady here who ever did show. She did not show up. But he tells him Takeshi Yamamoto was Ultraman 80. They don't believe him. And there's Mirai. And Rue shows up with his brother's action figure, Ultraman 80. Now, who gets the royalties from these? Not the Ultras. And they want to know where Yamamoto is, so they have a chat. He says, I can't do it. Tell him I'm not going to be there. But they know that he's on Earth now. So they're all yelling at him in the sky because Ultras can hear you. And apparently this is a common occurrence in Japan because nobody bats an eye at this. They do it at the school, at the shops. And Mirai says, I can't deliver that message. Now Mirai is maturing. He looks like he's older. The actor does. And Konomi comes up with this theory about the school itself being sad. Mirai is stuck looking at his brother. And he goes to consult with the captain who says, don't do anything. Fashion, Professor Shinichi. Okay, I just really enjoyed it. I don't know if all of them were there, and they couldn't give them all time because I think that's part of the reason that 80 went from being a teacher to being a full-time UGM member is because the cast was too damn large. They just couldn't do it. And, it was interesting when he was a teacher and being a UGM member, but I can see why. Class E of 1980. And suddenly, Shinichi had summoned a monster in the previous series. We may get to that in the future at some point. I'm sure we will. And there it shows up. That's the one from the first episode. It fights Mebius for a minute. And then 80 shows up. They're Ultraman. But he realizes that it's not that. The school just wanted him there. And they all say thank you. There's a great shot there. They sing a song. And then the actor shows up, and it's nice to see Takeshi right there. Still a good-looking guy. He goes, they're all yelling for him. He's like, it's me, yeah. So he's the Ultraman they remember. They're having a party. He's talking to them all. There's a flashback. And now we start with our final episode, and you get Gamora right there. Now, you know how much I love Gamora. And he was the first monster to appear outside of Japan, and tells how tough he was, and really, it's just a, Prince Monster. Suddenly, the Supreme Chairman's airplane, and it's Kenji Sahara, who was in Ultra Q and is kind of, fudging with it a bit. He's the founder of all of this, the Science Patrol, or the SSSP, the Ultra Garrison, etc. He's inspecting everyone, and Junior King shows up, and he says, "Yo, Sokochi." So that's a nickname that he's not supposed to. Everyone's not supposed to know. And it's such a funny shot. And they're like, they know each other. Even though they think that Sokochi's younger than he is. There it is, the VTOL there. So they explain why Sokochi's younger, because he was on a sublight. Apparently now they can go faster than light, but he's a Nami, fourth trial voyage. And then on the shuttle, and there's enemies everywhere. But fortunately, Zophie shows up and just wipes him away. Just one shot. So Zophie and the captain have a bond. And that was his last extraterrestrial. And now this guy shows up. I believe he is from Ultraman Leo. Don't quote me on that. We'll find out in the future. Dun, dun, dun. He revives Red King. And this is a mystery. So we are going to leave you on a cliffhanger. You better tune in next week to find out what's going on. Tatara Island. And yeah, Skull Monster Red King gets zapped. And of course, the adjutant thinks they're doing poorly. And he says yes. And he's such a toady sometimes. Fortunately, he knows that the foot, which of course Ultraman used in the original one, boot to the head. Got you in a headlock. What you gonna do? Zap. He revives it, and he turns into Ancient Monster Gamora. So now they know it's not really him. But I do love me some Gamora. We will get to the Ultra Galaxy fight, or whatever it's called, because that's a fun episode and fun series, and Gamora gets to be the hero. And they lift Meteor. Watch out for the tail. Mebius revives as Phoenix Mebius. Kaboom, kaboom, yatta! And they talk about this again. Shake hands, and unfortunately, we know who this is because look, he's breaking into another dimension. But that's it. If you are leaving, please replace your speaker and watch out for the kitties. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Tomorrow on Fox Kids, Kevin Sorbo and Lucy Lawless are the voices of Hercules and Xena.
It ain't over till it's over, big boy.
Don't miss the television movie premiere of Hercules and Xena, The Battle for Mount Olympus. Tomorrow morning at 9 on Fox Kids.
Yes, I am going to review this much maligned animated movie from 1998 when Hercules and Xena were a big deal. And yes, it does have 3 songs in it, so it does qualify for music, Friday. But yeah, I know it's not the best. Anyway, until our next assignment, my fellow agents, this is X7 signing off and phasing out. And remember, suspicion of tradition is so new wave.
Who is Mothra? What is Mothra? Why does all the world fear Mothra? They found him on an island in the remote Pacific, a monster cave creature discovered by a group of the world's leading scientists, worshipped as a god by the tiniest, loveliest women in all creation, sacred beauties of a lost tribe. See how he stands unscathed by tanks, artillery, dive bombers, rockets, all powerless against his devastating death ray. See how he eludes capture in his impenetrable cocoon, which no human force can open. See him unleash, with a single tremendous breath, the Earth's most fearsome hurricanes, wrecking trains and ships, uprooting bridges and buildings, wreaking havoc on land and sea, thrilling you, chilling you, holding you spellbound. What is the secret of Mothra? Insatiable, indestructible, indescribable. The screen's most fantastic dramatic spectacle, Mothra.